Hey guys, this is Production Music Live with another tutorial, and been a question asked over and over again. And that was, how do I turn my 8-bar loop into a full song? I have this 8-bar idea, but I don't know how to turn it into a song. So I have a project file over here. It's from a track I made a while ago and released it, and I changed a bit the structure of the song, and I changed a little bit the tones and everything to make this the underlying template of this tutorial. Let's have a look into it. Like, the actual song I made, if I zoom out, is over here, so you can see there's some certain structure to that song. But I'm going to slice it up into different smaller pieces, and let's say there's two possibilities actually. Maybe we have the idea for a chorus, or we have just a simple beat idea. So the thing I just played would be the idea for a chorus. And you see it's 8 bars over here, this idea. But maybe you don't have an advanced idea like this for a chorus. Maybe you just have an initial 8-bar loop, so it could sound like this probably. We will see how we can put these kinds of ideas together. So actually, this initial idea is just the first part of this chorus idea, like the first bar, the first 2 bars, without those two pad and key sounds and stabs. So if we have the chorus idea first, if we start with this idea, we could already make a beginning for our track out of just the first 2 bars and use that a while before we really go into the chorus. And we could use these first 2 bars and make some kind of verse out of it. Now we're in electronic music right here. There are some different rules than to classical, like, pop arrangements. The typical pop arrangement would be something like this. You have your first verse, then you have your first chorus, then you have your second verse after the first chorus, then you go into the second chorus, then there's a bridge, and then there's a third chorus, and maybe 2 times or 3 times, and then the song's over. That's typical classical pop kind of arrangement. And you see we are starting at 13 minutes something or 14, and we are finishing at 17:20, so that's basically 3 minutes more or less, typical pop song. This is what you could do over here, because I have a verse prepared, this one, I just played it to you, and I have a chorus prepared, and I also have some ideas for a bridge over here, but we will talk about this in a minute. So we could use those 3 elements already and make this kind of pop song out of it. But in electronic music, it's a little bit different. Let's try to make something interesting electronic music-like out of these 8-bar loop ideas. I want to get into this element quickly, which is my bridge over here. I just showed you the chorus, and my bridge is basically, if we have a look at the bass notes of the chorus, those are the bass notes. We are in E minor, we are going down to A, and then we are going down up to C. And well, sounds like this. Pretty typical. And for the bridge over here, I decided to change just slightly a little bit. We are playing the C first, then we are going down to the A, and then we are playing the E. So we are going . So we are changing a little bit. We are still using the same chords, but we are changing a little bit the structure of the bass notes and what chord we are playing first. And also, since we're in E minor and we're using kind of, let's go down to the pad section. Actually, I have my drums in this group over here, and I have my bass over here on this track, and then there's instruments over here in this group. So maybe it's easier to have a look at it this way. We have drums, instruments, and a bass. And also I have a vocal track over here, but I'm not going to use that too much. So in the instrument area, I have some keys, I have some lead sounds, and I have some bridge arpeggios, and then there are some pads. Those pads over here are playing B and E in the bridge part, and they're playing this in the chorus. So very simple, very simple. And in the bridge, I decided to use the E minor scale and create a couple of arpeggios. So all these notes are part of the E minor scale. So we are at, let me quickly solo this one. We are at E, we are at G. So those are the notes that I'm playing in this arpeggio. I made this arpeggio with a massive, and let's quickly play it by itself. And I have the same notes on two more massive tracks over here. And let's play the bridge together. You see, I just clicked here and I just used this locator over here to go into the verse after the bridge. So that sounded pretty okay, so we could use that after the bridge. But let's start at the beginning. How do we use those three elements now to structure the song? In electronic music, you start pretty monotonic because sometimes you want DJs to mix your tracks into their sets, and then they need some kind of intro. So you could start with simply using drums, like a kick and white noise, and have your bass maybe come in a little later, something like this. Sounds a little boring still, so let's throw in some of the pads. Let's do a quick automation on the volume levels over here. I put an utility over there and I just go down a little bit. Let me quickly do it like this. Here I have a recording where we just scratch a little bit around on a leather chair. So this is pretty heavy still for like kicking in the verse. So we could use like this lead as well, which is a main element of the track. And also do a little bit automation over here. of the gain. We can also put some drum elements in here, like this long reverbed clap sound I have here. So now we could go on and play the verse one more time and put in more hi-hats or stuff like this, or we already make this tiny break like typical in electronic music, like put in, like leave the chords for example, and maybe some of the pads in here. Like in the original track, at this point, I used a sample, a vocal sample, where they're talking about greed. It's basically, we could use this one over here, but just see what happens.
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. Just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. Trust you, I know 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 that. Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. Just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. Trust you, I know 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 that.
So this would be a very simple idea for a first break. If you don't have vocals, maybe you have to do something with instruments, or play a little melody in here and filter it in. But I also have like those stab sounds over here, so we could try those and see how that goes, and maybe play just the first 2 bars of those stabs and like filter them in somehow at some point over here. So let's use this auto filter on the stab. Well, that one is automated, so we can use it over here. That's controlling the auto filter back there. And let me filter this stab in here. And quite slowly also. Something like, I don't know, like this. Maybe. Let's see how that sounds.
You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. Just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. Trust you, I know 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 that.
So we started with a kind of a thing like, let's call it intro. So this part is basically for the DJs. Then we go into our first verse. Then we have over here, we have a break. And we are filtering our melody elements in. And then we play our chorus. So we go.
First of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. Just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you to do that. I don't even trust you. I don't even trust you.
So you see this sound, da 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 da. This one is basically, you can apply it in all the song. It's one constant element in the song. So we can also like stick to it in the break part as well. Just leave it playing over there, and then we like fall into our chorus, and then we can play that chorus maybe 2 times over here. So now just have a little recap. We had the chorus, we had the verse, and we had the bridge. And now we made an intro out of some elements of the verse, and then we made a break, used some elements of the chorus, but in monotonic, and just still playing the E bass key over here, and like keeping the pads without melodic changes, starting to change over here, and we threw in a vocal sample over here. Could also throw in a guitar or something organic, but that's what we did. And over here, I'm a big fan of those paddy swells, and let's call this one swell, because it's basically taking a note out of, it's also taking the E note and well, automate it up in the volume. So let's see how that sounds with the swell. Just like takes you into the chorus.
I don't even trust you. I don't even trust you.
So now we are at the point where we take the chorus for the second time, and I'm going to activate all the chorus elements. I need to go into the drum group to activate those elements as well. Like over here, if you select everything and hit 0, then you can activate and deactivate things. That's really good for a quick workflow. We are playing everything again, but we are adding in some hi-hat elements over here. So don't focus too much on the drumming. It's basically, it's kicks, claps, organic fuzzy elements over here, some snare breaks that are hitting in from time to time, as you can see here in the MIDI notes. Reverb claps, a little ride coming in from time to time over here. And then hi-hats, like those typical off hi-hats. So after the first time of the chorus, we play a lot of them again. And now we got to start preparing our bridge somehow. So I'm going to put a locator over here, say bridge prep. This is where you need to like prepare people already for this transition that is going to come up. I showed you this arpeggio sound before, and I'm going to play, like, since this is E minor and everything is like from this arpeggio is just in keys from the E minor, it will apply over here. Let's quickly automate the levels just a tiny bit. And we are making this louder and louder, and now we need to go down a little bit with our main chorus element because we are interfering too much then. So I'm filtering this a little out over here. And now we are at the point where we want to prepare the listener for this part, for this bridge part. Could also take down the levels of this lead sound a little bit over here. We are going to need some pads to keep the atmosphere going. And we are going to play this arpeggio still, but we're going to put another layer of that arpeggio on top. So it's all about layering in those transition parts. Let's play it from here. Still sounds a little empty, so let's keep some basic drum elements like the claps, this chair scratcher, a little bit of white noise, and some ride playing from time to time. Now we are playing those arpeggios as well. They're playing the same notes, or almost the same notes, but they're more sounding like a bass. Let's take this one down just a little bit over here and make room for those. Now we need to find some sort of transition from the bridge back into the chorus or back into the verse. So maybe you noticed already that I have the master automated with a filter over here. I'm using this element heavily on this track to create smooth transitions. So you can see those low cuts over here. To take it down a little bit again over here, because now I want to use this 8-bar thing over here to go back into the verse. So I'm activating what's prepared already, and you see that I'm playing a top kick over here. So you see over here, I'm playing the top kick, I'm playing the clap, I'm playing the second clap, I'm playing that scratch thing. I'm playing some of those snare bridges again, and also some hi-hats, the white noise, and I'm playing the bass bridge over here. So I'm still playing those bass notes, the ones from the bridge, And then I'm trying to keep this lead over here. I'm trying to keep the pads as well. But I will take down my bridge elements in the gain. I'm taking them down slightly now. And I'm keeping the main element of that song, like the thing that really makes you notice that song. That's that simple lead over here. And that's going to be kept, and then we can fall into the first verse again. I call it verse over here, and have some sort of outro for this song. So let's gain a little overview over here, over the track. You can see we started at around 8 minutes and now we are at 12:30. So we are 4.5 minutes in already, and now you can decide several things. You can like stop your song over here by putting like the inverse of this intro part, like turning those two around, for example, like this, and more or less like this, and then readjust the volumes, the volume controls, outro over here, and then you will end up at 13 minutes, and you started at 8 minutes, and you have a 5-minute song out of basic eight bar loop ideas. You had an intro, actually that's not correct, we start here. You had an intro, you had a verse, you had a break, you had a chorus, you had a bridge preparation, then you fell into that bridge somehow, you kept the bridge going, you went out of the bridge, and then you went back into the verse and you went into the outro. Or what else you could do, if you want your track to be longer than that, you could go ahead and repeat this step over here basically from now on. Like go back into the verse, make a tiny break, maybe only this long over here, and then fall back into your chorus. Go one more time. Or you could also try to use the chorus after the bridge. It's really open to your personal preferences. I hope this is quite understandable, even if it's quite a heavy project, but it's more about the structure over here. So that's how I would go ahead and structure my songs. And the basics are try to like announce your transitions with maybe arpeggio layers or something, or melodic layers or some vocal layers. Announce them, do the transition, and then fall into your bridges. And basically if you just start with an 8-bar loop, try to find a chorus from it. Actually, you only need 2 changes of your harmonics, and then for your bridge you can turn those harmonics around and you already have a bridge when you add in some arpeggio sounds or something, depending on what genre you're doing. But that's some basic ideas on arranging and structuring your songs. I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe to our channel, and if you're looking for massive presets or sounds like this, the drums are basically from our D Premium drum package. Check the description for that one. We also have those deep house electronica massive presets, and I'm not sure, maybe in the future some point this template will be available as well, but it still needs some adjustments because right now there are third-party plugins in there and they should be taken out and replaced by Ableton only stuff, so you can easily try around. So maybe at the time that you're watching this video it's already available, I don't know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, just post in the comment section, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.